Hi, I'm Patrick Lowe, Canadian Film Geek Esquire. One of the things that astonishes me about English Canadian film from the early to mid-70s is to how uncompromisingly brutal these films were to their main protagonists. The lead male characters in films like Goin' Down the Road, The Rowdy Man, Paperback Hero, and The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz all fall from grace tragically in their inability to deal with the real world, while their female counterparts in films like Wedding in White, The Pix, Black Christmas, and Death Weekend are either murdered or raped due to male ineptitude or cruelty. Hence the national victim complex of our Canadian cinema, where the characters' on-screen trauma was a bit too traumatic for viewers and audiences of their day, who more than once complained about Canadian film being either too depressing or too fatalistic. Even at times, I find it hard to watch these films, being unable to prevent the tragic fates that befall the main characters, like the one that befalls Marilyn Chambers in the climax of David Cronenberg's Rabid. However, when it comes to real Canadian on-screen tragedy, nothing is more devastating or more compelling than that of Sudden Fury, a 1975 rural Ontario thriller and one-time feature written and directed by Brian Damude, now a retired professor of film from Ryerson University. Made on a paltry budget of $115,000, financed mainly by Damude's own savings and a grant by the Canadian Film Development Corporation, the movie is a low-budget masterpiece of riveting suspense as it grabs your attention from the opening credits to its devastating, nail-biting finale. So devastating, in fact, that when I first saw this film at the tender age of 10 in 1977 on CBC TV, I was so appalled at the main character's fate that I was convinced that the director was deliberately and sadistically targeting the very character I was rooting for. In fact, this is what makes the film such a one-of-a-kind cat-and-mouse thriller. It refuses to pull punches as it thumbs its nose to Hollywood conventions of traditional melodrama. Or as one critic once said about George Orwell's 1984, Sudden Fury is a crowning achievement, but it is a crown of thorns. The film opens with the poor hapless schlub, Fred, played by Dominic Hogan, waiting on his wife Janet, played by Gay Rowan, over the phone, only to discover that she has not been faithful to him.
Hello?
Is Janet Bates there, please?
I think you must have the wrong number, mister. There ain't nobody here at this time of night.
Then on a drive through the country to attend a christening, Fred takes a detour.
Where are we? This isn't Highway 27.
Oh, I just thought I'd take you on a different route for a change as a kind of surprise.
Surprise?
In an attempt to salvage his marriage, Fred tries to sell Janet on investing in one of his dream projects, something which only backfires on him.
Well, this is it.
What?
This land. Look around. It's the perfect place to build that little resort motel we've always dreamed about.
Resort motel? Since when did I always dream of owning a resort motel?
Oh, come on now. You've always said how nice it would be to own some little restaurant or hotel in the country, someplace peaceful like this.
Yeah, and I've always dreamed about being a millionaire, too.
Now, wait a minute.
Fred, we have been through this before. I'm not going to lend you any more money. I'm sorry.
Why the hell not? Look, marriage is a partnership, remember?
Fred, you're hurting me, please. My arm.
Look, why won't you lend me the money? Tell me, huh? Come on, you want to dump on me, then do it right. Let's get it all out, right here and now.
Leave me alone!
Then things get complicated with the introduction of Al, played by Dan Hennessy.
What's the matter with you? You crazy? You almost killed me.
I almost killed you. I almost killed myself trying not to kill you, you jackass. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play in the road?
What are you, some kind of wise guy? Wait a minute, buddy. Nobody talks to me like that and gets away with it.
Fred, for Christ's sake, what do you think you're doing? Fred!
Later, at a gas station, Janet meets up with Al.
I'm sorry if we caused you any trouble back there. My husband shouldn't have jumped out in the middle of the road like that. It was unforgivably stupid. He's kind of out of sorts this morning. He was awfully rude to you. There's no excuse, of course. I can only apologize. I'm sorry.
That's all right. There was no harm done.
Needless to say, Fred gets quite agitated and things get out of hand.
That's why you won't lend me the money. You've a lover, you're planning on leaving me, aren't you?
Fred, I wouldn't lend you that money if I had a lover or not. I was telling you the truth.
You're gonna leave me, aren't you?
Fred,
You're gonna run off with him!
You're driving too fast!
Answer me, damn it! Are you planning on leaving me?
We're gonna go off the road!
Then what we see on screen is a real-life schmuck who turns completely evil when he realizes he'll benefit by inheriting his wife's money if she dies. Then just when Al appears on the scene to save the day,
Help me. I'm bleeding.
All right. Don't worry. I'll help you.
Fred turns even more dastardly as he deviously works to prevent Al's attempts to save his own wife's life. What follows is a complicated cinematic Chinese box puzzle of thwarted audience expectations. Every time you think Al is going to save the day, the man is punished for trying to do what is right. Everything goes wrong for Al, as does Laura and Dan, an innocent farm couple played by Hollis McLaren and David Yorston, when Fred ensnares them in his selfish schemes to pursue his dreams at any cost, even if it means killing the innocent. And thanks to Damude's tight direction and the excellent editing and the brooding, suspenseful score, one becomes completely absorbed into how the conflict between Al and Fred will play out. And without giving away the ending, well, suffice it to say, it doesn't end well for anyone. Such is the universe of the low-budget Canadian films of the 1970s. Sudden Fury does not sugarcoat the fate of its victims, and at times I still wonder if the director had it out for the good guys, although he does sympathize with Al's plight, and he deplores Fred's antics as much as anyone else would. All he did was make a solid Hitchcockian thriller that defies audiences' expectations, putting us, the viewer, in the seat of the innocent characters caught up in the emotional grindhouse of the drive-in Greek tragedies of their day. In other words, what happens to Al could happen to you or me. Which is why I think the film has aged so well. It doesn't let the audience off the hook, nor does it flinch from painful truths or harsh realities, willing to face tragedy straight in the face and accept its hard consequences whether or not audiences can deal with it. This is a film that forces us to face the reality that life isn't like the movies. And sometimes you need a Canadian film to tell you that. Otherwise, I'm Patrick Lowe, signing off until next time, Megwitch.